Hi, my name is Dana, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the kind of questions that I've been getting since I had my vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery on August 15th, 2013. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of questions, the 10 questions that I've been asked most frequently, either here or on Facebook or in person, and I'm just going to do what I can to answer those questions. Before I start, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's messaged me recently in the past 2 weeks. I'm really sorry. I know that I said I was going to put a couple of videos out right away. I wasn't able to. It's just been crazy since I've been back at work and getting back involved with everything. So now that I'm a little more settled in, hopefully I'll be able to start pumping the videos back out at a regular rate again. And again, thank you everybody for the support. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started with the top 10 questions. So question number 1 is, why did I choose the VSG over the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass or the lap band? It's pretty simple. As for the lap band, I wasn't really interested in having like a foreign body left inside of me, because the band, it stays inside. And then also there was like the port. I wasn't cool with the port. I don't like needles the best of days. I certainly didn't want to have, the access port thing. It just personally wasn't for me. Not saying it couldn't work for other people, just not my thing, that's all. And as for the Roux-en-Y, well, there's a bunch of reasons actually. First of all, with gastric bypass surgery, you're not allowed to have the category of anti-inflammatory medications called NSAIDs. That's just an acronym. I'll put it down in the thing below. So I use Advil for the osteoarthritis in my knees, and if I had had the gastric bypass, I wouldn't be able to continue to do that. And for me personally, nothing has worked as good as the Advil had, so I wanted to make sure I continued to have that choice. Also, I've had low iron anemia for quite some time, which is actually tied into my polycystic ovarian syndrome, the whole reason I got the surgery in the first place. And so I didn't want to have further issues and complications with malabsorption of vitamins, because I was already supplementing as it was. So, to have to be like doubling or tripling up on those supplements just to be able to make par just didn't seem like a smart choice for me. And then lastly, with the vertical sleeve, there's no rerouting. All they do is remove the larger curvature, which works out to be about 85% of your stomach. But the way that the stomach actually functions stays the same. Your pyloric valve stays intact. You guys can do the research on it. I'm not going to blab on forever. It's just, I felt personally that it was the right surgery for me. I'm not advocating to anybody else to go ahead and get the surgery. If you have the Roux-en-Y and you've been successful, awesome. If you have the band and you've been successful, that's awesome too. Personally, I thought the vertical sleeve was the best thing for me, and thankfully my surgical team agreed. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. Did I tell people about my surgery? People ask me this all the time. Yeah, I told everybody in stages. When I first decided finally that I was going to actually go through with it and do the surgery, I told my immediate family first. After that, I had to tell my work a little bit. I told my director and, a couple of people that were in charge of like me being away, HR, that sort of thing. And then eventually over time, people noticed that I was doing this liquid diet, or, that I wouldn't partake in like the staff, food feasts that always occur when you work in an office environment. And people started asking questions and noticing that I was losing weight, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to tell them. And I did, and I think it's been really positive because, rather than it being this awkward situation where people are like, is she sick? Does she have, something that we should know about? Like, why is she losing all this weight? People know the truth. They know what it is. And I feel like every time I explain my surgery and my results and stuff to people, that they probably explain it to somebody else, and maybe they explain it to somebody else, and maybe down through the chain of all of this, we end up helping somebody else. And that's really the whole point of these videos and, the blog and everything. It's all about helping people. So I figured the more people I could share with, the better. very recently, actually, within the past 3 weeks, I believe, I posted on Facebook that I had had the surgery, and pretty much everything that's come back to me has been positive. You know, I know there's some people that are really heavy into the fitness and the exercise, diet, that like whole lifestyle, that probably thought to themselves like, oh, whatever, you know, she could have just done it this other way. At first I was really worried that people were going to judge me on the fact that I decided to have surgery, but then I realized that if anybody that's close to me, you know, they saw what I was going through. They saw that I was working out. They saw that I was, you know, cutting back and doing everything the surgeon had asked me to do, and it wasn't working. Was I losing weight? Yes. But was I losing weight at a rate that was going to prevent me from having, you know, an early heart attack or some other thing? No, I wasn't. I needed the help. I'm not advocating, again, that anybody go out and get the surgery just because you're overweight. That's just a particular plan that happened to work for me, and I don't regret it at all. So let's move on to question 3. Did I ever cheat on the pre-op diet even once? I didn't. In fact, I have ranted on several forums, and I think in a couple of my videos, about how important it is to not cheat on that diet. I was 313 when I started that diet. 3 weeks later, I was down to 295 on surgery day. I had never felt better in my life. My skin looked amazing. The circles under my eyes were gone. It was the best thing. It totally helped me break all my really bad eating habits, because when you're on that diet, you're forced to start living the life that you're going to be living after surgery. And I always warn people, if you really think that you can't go 2 or 3 weeks on a pre-op diet, regardless of whatever your surgeon's plan happens to be, don't get the surgery. You're not ready yet. If you feel like it's okay to cheat here and there, I'm sorry. I know some people have done it. Some people have their excuses. Personally, for me, I don't think there's any excuse. I don't think there's any reason to start cheating before you even have the surgery. That's just setting yourself up for failure after the surgery. But I'm not judging. Everybody, you know, to each his own, her own. And I hope for the best success for everybody in this. I just definitely would advocate against cheating on any of the diet parts. So, okay, we'll move along then to number 4, and this is an easy one. Is there anything you regret about your decision to get a vertical sleeve gastrectomy? No, not at all. Some people say, like, yeah, my only regret was that I didn't do it sooner. And I mean, I get that, especially, you know, for the older people that say that sort of thing. You know, they wish they had done it sooner so they could get their life back. I'm only 32. Do I wish I had done it sooner? Maybe, but I'm not sure that I would have been mentally prepared at this stage, like I am now, to not only get the surgery, but to rock the surgery. Like, I am 100% committed to this process, and that's how I know I'm going to be successful. Would that have been the case 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago when I first really started to put on the weight? I don't know. I doubt it. I'm very fortunate and very thankful that this opportunity came to me at the time that it did. So no, I don't regret anything. Moving on to number 5. People ask me all the time, isn't this just the easy way out? Now you're going to lose weight without proper diet or exercise. My friends, let me tell you, you are not going to lose weight if you don't follow the plan and you don't get at least some really brisk walking in. I'm doing my power walking every day, 3-4 miles a day if possible. I'm doing, water running. I'm doing aquafit. I was swimming laps when I was at my parents' house. I don't have access to a pool here in my house, so, and it's winter now coming along, so I haven't been able to do a lot of that outdoor swimming. But I'm telling you, I see on the forums all the time, these weight loss forums, people that have stopped following the plan, stopped working out, and you know what happens? They come to a stall. You know what happens when they don't do it for so long? They gain the weight back. That's not a joke. This is just a tool. You'll hear this all the time. If you don't work the tool, it is not going to work. And then what? You went through all this pain, all these trials. You got 85% of your stomach sliced out for what? Just just to say that you did it, because if you're not going to work the tool, the program's not going to work for you. So it's not the easy way out. How could surgery ever be the easy way out? I'm sorry if people feel that it is an easy way out, but frankly, I just don't have time for those kind of opinions anymore. I'm busy with my own stuff. Okay, so number 6 is, how soon after surgery did you start working out? Well, right after surgery, within that 24, 48 hour window that gets you up and walking around, that was cool. It took me another day or two after I got home to really get back to normal in the groove of things. So I would say by day 4 or day 5, I was doing my best to walk my 2 kilometers a day. And at first that seemed like just like an unreal number to me, like, oh my God, 2 kilometers a day? But literally within a couple of days it got really easy and it just became a normal part, and now I blow 2 kilometers out of the park. It's not even a big deal to walk 2 kilometers anymore. That's like that's like a warm-up now. So it's been really good. I started swimming a week after surgery, so I had my surgery on the Thursday. I think I started swimming the following Friday is when I had clearance to start swimming. But I will caution you, just because I got clearance doesn't mean that you can go swimming after a week. Talk to your surgeon. My surgeon knew that I'd be swimming in a private pool, my mom's pool, and that's why he okayed it a week after surgery. So how much weight have I lost so far? That's question number 7, and it's one that you guys ask me all the time. So I'll break it down. I was 331 when I started the program. I was 313 by the time I got to the liquid diet. I was 295 the day of surgery. So 295, and I'm down to about 268 pounds as of this morning. So it works out to be about 25 or 26 pounds that I've lost since my surgery. Or if you want to look at it this other way, I've lost on average 5.3 pounds per week. Although there was like 10 days during this 5-week period where I didn't lose a single pound. So if you average it out, it's been about 5.3 pounds. And I'm happy with that, no complaints, and hopefully it keeps going because it's been fantastic. Okay, so last 3 questions, guys. Number 8 is, what mistakes have I made? Well, I think you guys know that I'm a pretty positive person, and I'm very serious about this. But I think that sometimes, because everything's going so well, I maybe push a little too hard. And I think I do that with both the diet and the exercise. So, I've sometimes eaten a portion that was maybe a little bit too big. And I don't mean anything crazy, not like how I did before, but I just kept feeling like, you know what, I'm doing good, I'm being healthy, I'm eating these tiny portions, I'm doing good, and so maybe I would, have an extra tablespoon of mashed potatoes, and then, oh my God, does it hurt so bad. Please learn to undereat your sleeve, because the 2 times that I've eaten a little bit more, just because, I had that head hunger, and I had that idea that, oh my God, it tastes good, I want to have a little bit more, don't. It is not worth it. That's a mistake that I made, a mistake that I learned, and one I am not going to go back to. Now, if that kind of thing happens, it's totally by accident, and it's never on like a large scale, because it hurts so much. Seriously, it feels like you went to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and went 3 plates over your limit. It feels horrible. Don't do it. I guess the only other mistake I can say that I've made is with exercise, is that, again, sometimes I push myself a little too hard. For example, the other day, just yesterday actually, I was at my family's house. We went to a softball tournament, came back, and we were all playing horseshoes and bocce ball, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick up this thing and bring it to the backyard, the bocce ball container. Well, it contains 8 5-pound bocce balls, and the ball that you throw, and the case itself. I went to pick it up, and I was just like, oh, that is too heavy. It hurt. I had to stop for a second. My uncle had to come down and help me. He's saying to me, like, what are you doing? What are you picking that up? And it's like, you really have to remember that you just went through a serious surgery. 85% of a major organ's gone, So I'm trying to take it back a bit. I'm trying to keep in mind that I still need help sometimes, that I can't just pick up where I left off. I got to build my way there. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to start some strength training, and then hopefully, my strength will improve and everything will get better. And I just have to keep remembering, one step at a time. I don't have to do everything all at once. I'm going to get there, and you guys all will too. So let's move on to number 9 then. Number 9 is, where do you go for support? So beyond my friends and family, I figure this question is referring more to the internet stuff. And where I go is obesityhelp.com. It is by far the best forum that I've come across personally. I've made some really good friends on the site. You can literally search every topic you could ever think of, and somebody's posted it and answered it. And, people don't get that upset if you don't find your answer and you want to post a fresh topic. That's okay. People are really supportive. You can find people all over Canada, all over the U.S. It's just a really great site. I'll put the link down in the bottom for you guys if you want to check it out for yourself. It is just, it really is. It's worth the time to go on and meet some people that are going through the same thing. Why not? They have it even organized by surgery. So if you're watching my video and you're not a VSGer, but you had a duodenal switch, or you're a gastric bypass, or you've had some sort of revision surgery, there's a topic area there for you of people that have solely had that particular surgery. Where else can you find that? I don't know. I'm sure there's other forums, but that's the one that I like best. And that actually brings me into number 10, which is the final question for today, is what food tracker do you use? You guys might remember that in my last video, I was pretty pissy about having to track my food. But I can tell you, honestly, that my weight loss has increased by 200% since I started logging my food and actually seeing, how much protein I'm getting in. Do I always get to 80 grams a day? No, I'm not going to lie, I don't. But I try. I really do try. Right now my calories are sitting around 600 to 800 per day, depending on, if I worked or not, if I was out, that sort of thing. But I've been very careful about it. I'm tracking my carbs, my fiber, my protein, my sodium, my sugar, everything that I can that has an actual impact, I'm tracking. And what I'm using, surprisingly, even though I said I hated it last time, was my Fitness Pal. I've actually realized that if you're going to be serious about it and you're going to, actually start tracking your food, why not use something that's really thorough? Because I'm in Canada, a lot of the stuff on my Fitness Pal is, the American versions, which is not always the same as the Canadian ones. So what I've done is I realized you could just put the information in yourself, put your own amounts in, and then you can save it, and then you can just refer back to that one. You don't always have to start searching through the database again. I know it's probably, you guys all know that already, but I couldn't figure it out at first, and now that I have to say, hands down, best tool I've used. Very glad to be using it, and definitely be continuing for the rest of my life. So those were the top 10 questions that I get asked. I have 2 other videos that should be coming soon, next couple of days for sure, I promise. The one video is going to be on, I'm going to make a video about what I'm eating, what I ate in those first couple of stages. Now I'm basically on soft food, transitioning on to real food. And I'm going to try to take pictures of my portion sizes so you guys can see what it actually looks like. And the other video that I'm scheduled to do is the review on the protein powders and supplements, all the stuff that I've been trying, all the nutrition information, and then I'll hook you guys up with some links so that you can try this stuff out too if you want to. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope I answered some questions, and if you guys have any more questions, send them to me or leave them down below, and I'll get to them in my next video. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.